Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Big news today, and shout out to Jorgen on Twitter for sharing this. Palantir is expanding its footprint and network effects in healthcare on the logistics side. And there are two major reasons I like this partnership, which went under the radar. And it's with a company that didn't announce their partnership with Palantir. And even when Googling them, you can't find their names associated together. So I'll show you the evidence shortly that they're working together as well. But the company is called Owens & Minor, which is kind of funny because I knew about this small company back in the 2010s and was briefly invested in them, but didn't really stick with them. Now, to my defense, the overall business of healthcare supplies has razor-thin margins and scalability issues and can be met. But it looks like over time, Owens & Minor at least has stayed alive, but I don't know what this volatility is from the last several years here, which is probably very telling of the turbulence of this business, especially to supply chain shocks. Now, back in the day, I'm pretty sure the focus was on manufacturing and delivering these healthcare supplies, but seems they have expanded their business to have products and services that can help other healthcare entities on managing their supply chains, which is a nice sign of progress, at least for the company. Now, either way, here's the evidence showing they're partnered with Palantir. Going to Brantley Daughtry's LinkedIn page, he is listed as a Senior Director of Architect and Engineering at Owens & Minor. So role-wise, he's not just an executive signing a deal. It sounds like he'd be a major decision maker, or at least someone who would test the product when it comes to implementing a Palantir product at their organization. And his latest post from 3 weeks ago is right here giving all the evidence. He got the certificate in completing Foundry Foundations, and this was issued on June 23, so not that long ago, and he gives a cool endorsement, basically saying Palantir can power your path towards AI operations. Now, some can argue just at looking at this only, he just got a certification, and doesn't necessarily mean the company's working with the other company. But we do get a comment from a Palantir employee himself, Jackson Dealey, who says, "Thanks for the support, Brantley Daughtry. Very excited to be partnering with you and the team." Now, that's pretty telling if a Palantir employee first is acknowledging actually working with the team, especially knowing these social media sites are public. Of course, there's no terms of the deal here that are disclosed, but I'd say there are most likely an official deal or partnership in the background with Owens & Minor, especially since he acknowledged working together with a team. Now, what are the two main reasons I really like the idea of these two working together? First, this adds on to the network effects of healthcare supply chain, so this is becoming Palantir's bread and butter, I'd say, driving their commercial business, which is healthcare in general. And they're already getting to the provider side, of course, with HCA Healthcare, Cleveland Clinic, Tampa Bay General, so those who are actually giving the care. But of course, on the other end, who is supplying them? And they've got this huge customer of Cardinal Health. So I'm going to attempt a body comparison. I think of Cardinal Health being like a big artery in a person's body. So it's very big, getting a lot of blood around for these capillaries, who would be Owens & Minor, who are smaller, but still part of the overall system here. The capillaries are still important because even though they're small, they can bring that blood from the big arteries over to those other parts of the body because, there's a main supply road, but then there's many smaller roads around that need to get supplied. So everyone is different in size, but brings value because they still have their specific market and value that they bring to it. So it's always great to see this network effect, especially on the healthcare side in America. Now, the second reason, which is still kind of related to the first, it's going back to the full picture here that Palantir can work with these smaller businesses. I've talked about this in the last couple videos where Palantir has been known for working with the big organizations, but they do have the Foundry for Builders program here, which are the very small. But here, we still have a small organization. They don't need a $200 billion Cisco market cap here. Even 1.5 billion market cap is enough, which is the value of Owens & Minor, and they're implementing Palantir. So if we look at their financials too for Owens & Minor, they had $2.5 billion in revenue for Q1 2023, so around $10 billion per year. So you're probably wondering, if you're used to growth stocks, why is this revenue so much higher than their actual market cap? It's because of these razor-thin margins. So do note they did lose a lot of money, meaning they got to find a way to make their business sustainable. And Palantir has been known to drive this kind of value quickly, especially with their ontology and tying data together. So this is not even talking about driving them with AI decision making here, just having the full picture of how you're going to supply and cut costs at different areas and work together more effectively is really the bread and butter of Palantir. So what are your thoughts though on this potential partnership here? Do you think it's legit? Let me know below, and I'll see you in the next video.